IPRoyal has unlimited mobile proxy tiers and a sticky session that holds for 24 hours. That's a real win. But if you're running SingPass tests or DB spanking automation, IPRoyal does not own hardware in Singapore. Singapore mobile proxy.com runs 100 plus modems on real Singtel, StarHub, M1 and Vivify SIMs. Here's the split. Wishard ramai if we appear as iSIMs. Primaries Kemen mobile proxy tet US Southeast Audiscom. IPRoyal runs a large global product, 190 plus countries on residential mobile across Europe, US, Southeast Asia, plus unlimited mobile per port tiers. SMP is Singapore only, with own hardware and named carrier ASNs. This video is for engineers building Singapore-sensitive automation. Wishard is three things. 1. Where IPRoyal is genuinely better. 2. Where SMP wins on Singapore-specific work. 3. Pricing math at 3 realistic volumes. Wishard main body, where IPRoyal is genuinely better. IPRoyal runs one of the more complete global proxy products on the market. Residential covers 190 plus countries. Mobile covers the EU, US and Southeast Asia. Dashboard is clean, self-serve, no sales call to get a first request through. The unlimited mobile tier is the real differentiator for bandwidth-heavy workflows. Flat monthly per port instead of per gig. At $7 to $10 a gig on industry standard pricing, full-page browser automation can produce surprise invoices. IPRoyal removes that variable. Their dedicated mobile ports also support sticky sessions up to 24 hours, that's longer than most competitors, and useful for workflows that need very long session windows. Residential pool is large enough that per IP concurrency stays low for general targets. Money-back guarantee reduces commitment risk. But Third, as SMP operates its own physical modems inside Singapore on Singtel, StarHub, M1 and Vivify SIM cards. That's a network topology fact, not a positioning claim. Every IP exits from a real Singapore mobile carrier ASN. So that RDNS, WOS, BGP path, round-trip latency, all of it resolves correctly because the hardware is physically in Singapore on a live SIM. This matters for any target that does carrier level or ASN level checks, SingPass, the major SG retail banks, the larger logistics platforms. These are not edge cases, they're standard practice for high-trust SG infrastructure. Because SMP runs a defined set of physical modems instead of drawing from a rotating pool of millions, the IP to session ratio stays low. Fewer requests share each exit IP at any given time. For workflows where session consistency matters across multiple steps, a multi-step checkout, a banking MFA sequence, that low sharing reduces mid-session detection risk meaningfully. SingPass and their SG retail banks have built strong signal libraries for detecting non-local traffic. Free checks appear consistently. ASN ownership verification. Is this IP registered to a SG mobile carrier in the BGP registry? Latency fingerprinting. Does round-trip time to SG infrastructure match what a real subscriber would produce? Behavioral clustering. Does the session traffic resemble a local subscriber? The ASN might resolve to a hosting provider, a CDN edge, a broadband ISP, an IP range reassigned through intermediaries. For most scraping, that's irrelevant. For SG financial platforms and government integrations, it triggers capture escalation, OTP loops or silent failure. IPRoyal does not claim to own hardware in Singapore. Their SG mobile pool is small relative to their global offering and built through peer network agreements. You cannot verify before a request which SG carrier ASN you'll get. Both capitalize in math at 3 volumes and verify current rates on IPRoyal's site. This is a May 2026 snapshot. One cost that doesn't show in tables. Failed request retry overhead. If your success rate on SG-specific targets is lower because non-carrier IPs trigger friction, you're paying for bandwidth that produces no data. On mobile rates of 7 to 10 a gig, a 30% failure rate on requests that would have succeeded on a carrier pure, IP shifts the total cost comparison meaningfully. The SingPass mixes and migration, IPRoyal to SMP. If you're moving SG work over, this is the shape of the change. 3 things to recalibrate. 1. Replace session-encoded usernames with direct port allocation. 2. Drop concurrency to 2 to 4 requests per port for standard HTML, 1 to 2 for carrier-sensitive flows like SingPass. 3. A/B test 10 to 20% of SG traffic on SMP for 48 hours before full cutover. Verdict by use case. Use case better fit. Zishauntruspauthes, multi-geo workflows across continents. IPRoyal, unlimited mobile bandwidth on one port. IPRoyal, 24-hour sticky sessions. IPRoyal, residential at low per gig cost. IPRoyal, Singapore only. Carrier ASEAN sensitive. SMP, SingPass, DBS, OCBC-URB automation, SMP, Shopee, Lazada, Grab merchant tooling, SMP, named Singtel, StarHub, M1, Vivify ASEAN guaranteed is SMP, Opfei, IPRoyal is the multi-geo unlimited choice, SMP is the SG carrier purity choice, honest split. If you're hitting capture loops on SingPass or Shopee SG with a residential or partner-sourced mobile pool, the answer is not more retries, it's an IP that actually resolves to a real SG carrier ASN. Spin up a 2-hour SMP trial at singaporemobileproxy.com/client trial, no card required, dedicated Singtel, StarHub, M1 or Vivify modem. On a paid plan, use YT30 for 30% off month 1, For global workloads where SG is one geo among many, IPRoyal's unlimited tier is fine. For workloads where the SG carrier ACN is the actual requirement, owned hardware is the only working answer, owned tier. Oh, if this helped, subscribe. Next video is Node Maven versus SMP. Node Maven targets the higher quality end of pooled residential, similar shape, different angle,